Well, as retailers struggle, former Home Depot CEO Bob Nardelli is out with a big warning. Wall Street is underestimating the tsunami that's about to hit the U.S. economy. Bob Nardelli joins us on the phone. He also, of course, ran Chrysler, was a GE executive, wears many hats. Bob, always great to speak with you, though.
Thanks, Melissa. It's great to be on. And just to pick up where both Karen and Guy were speaking about Walmart and Home Depot, I think these are two solid companies. They've got great CEOs with Doug McMillon and Craig Menear. I think that, the comments that were being made by Karen that, as everybody, has been sheltered, we started to do stockpiling. I think we're all probably a little guilty of that. I think both of these gentlemen did a fantastic job in responding to their associates, premium pay, making sure that they had, PPE protection, making sure the stores were as disinfected and clean, dealt with the limited number of people per square foot. In both cases, we saw, less visits, but higher ticket price, which was really phenomenal. And both of them had positive same-store sales. So I think these are, Guy, I think these are two companies to really keep an eye on, and they're going to be solid when everybody starts crawling out of their shelters also.
Yeah, the average ticket price at Home Depot was up about 11%, which is remarkable. Bob, I wanted to get more on this tsunami that you're forecasting. Aren't we in the tsunami, or is it going to get worse?
Oh, Melissa, I think that, I appreciate the optimism that we're hearing out there. I understand it. But if you look at the degree of difficulty, and, having sat in these chairs myself, some of these heavy industrial companies are really going to have a challenge. Let's take the airline industry, for example. So we see air travel down, as much as 80%. So we see one airline company basically parking 500 planes. They're getting rid of their 777s that have long been in the fleet, the McDonnell Douglas stuff. So you got excess pilots, you got excess crews, and costs incurred there. What happens then? The dominoes tumble to Boeing. And, Boeing had an issue with the MAX to start with, but then, they have to shut down commercial. And then as a result of that, GE shuts down really the bright spot in that portfolio, jet engines. They lay off 13,000 technical workers. In my experience, that's about a 10-to-1 ratio, Melissa. For every one you lay off in GE,
right,
or every one we laid off at Chrysler, the tier 2, 3, or 4 get whacked. And so starting to get that supply chain, you're talking about, in some cases, 12, 18 months to get things up and running.
Sure.
And in some cases, with the issue with China, the tariffs, and the disruption over there, I had 20 directors on the phone the other night from Mexico, and they're very concerned when you think about over $300 billion of exports into the U.S., and they're now starting to shut down. What impact is that going to have on the auto industry? The auto industry, has had 3 starts now. They're going to do middle of April, end of April, May, and we're starting up. But think about the degrees of difficulty they've got, Melissa. One is PPE protection for the workers coming back. Second, they have the social distancing. They have to reprofile all the workstations. And based on seniority, when you bring people back, you got new people on new jobs. So you have to worry about OSHA safety. You got to worry about quality. And the biggest issue they're going to face, having lived through this myself, is getting that supply chain started.
Right.
Now, the advantage they got, the dealers have 90 days of stock on the ground. The overflow lots are literally overflowing. So they're going to, they'll have some time to bring this up to the production levels, but they've got a stacked inventory issue, and they got to decide whether it's going to be a consumer pull program through interest rates, or a manufacturing push by just putting tremendous discounts and incentives on the hood of everything they move.
Right.
So I think we've got a real issue here in some of these heavy industrials to get them up and running over the next several months, 10, 12 months, Melissa.
So, Bob, we're just about out of time, but I have to ask you about General Electric. We just showed the stock chart on the screen. 6 and change is where it's trading at right now. Do you think possibly this could be, in some shape or form, a takeout target?
Well, I don't know in total. I think, Larry has really been dealt a challenging hand. He's a very competent leader. He has a tremendous track record from Danaher. Cash is the king. When you look at the amount of money that Boeing is burning per month, You look at what's happening to GE Aviation now, billions of dollars per month, just like in the auto industry. He may have to monetize some more pieces of the business to be able to get through this trough. But it's unfortunate that aircraft engine, which was really the bright spot, now got a bump in the road as a result of aviation, Boeing,
right,
and now falling into GE's basket there, Melissa. So let's hope Larry finds a way to navigate that great company through this challenging period.
Bob, always great to speak with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa.
Bob Nardelli. Steve Grasso, where do you go from? I mean, you raised a lot of good points about the supply chain. We don't know how all the dominoes will fall.
So much there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's just, you wonder if people will be willing to pay more to have that supply chain brought back home. And I think that everything that we've seen recently, it leads me to believe that they would. But when you look at Walmart, they're over 50% groceries. That's what helped them in the beginning. Target is not nearly that strong in groceries, but now we're buying other things besides groceries. So I think that's why Target came on strong later. Cold stores had a lot of problems going in. They're going to have a lot of problems coming out. They incentivize, they reduce prices on too many things. I don't feel strongly that cold stores has a bright future going forward, but I'll throw another one in there that we didn't talk about. Costco. Remember all the pushback on this? Who needs this many paper towels? Who needs this much water? Who needs this much toilet paper? Well, we found out who needs that, and they were the original bulk buying machine, and I think that people will not stop their behavior there. And I am still long GE, just to go full wrap around everything that he commented on. So you have aviation, you have power, you have healthcare. I hope they start breaking it up, because it was starting to come back on its own. But I think with this pandemic, this is a lot of headwinds for them to survive the way they are right now.